Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking about books that helped me through my grief when my partner died. Before I get started with the books that helped me with my grief, I just want to give a little bit of a disclaimer, I guess, so that you guys know that I am not at all religious, but I am very spiritual. And I do believe that our loved ones live on somewhere else, on the other side, whatever it may be. So a lot of these book recommendations are going to be on the more spiritual side of things. These books are less about the actual mental health aspect of grief and more on the spiritual side of grief. And all of these books really helped me to understand and form my own thoughts about the other side and where my partner is, and that I will see him again and that I can still communicate with him when I'm still alive. I'm not going to put the books in any particular order. I'm just going to go down my list of read books on my Audible because I did listen to all of these. I have ADHD and I think I have autism. I haven't been diagnosed, but I definitely have been diagnosed with ADHD, and it's really hard for me to read nonfiction books like with a physical book. I just can't keep my brain there in the moment. It's like one of those situations where I just keep reading the same sentence over and over again because I'm not retaining it. So I listen to all of my nonfiction books on Audible because for some reason my brain just absorbs the information a lot better when I'm listening to it. So without further ado, hello everyone. If you can't already tell, it's a completely different day because my camera did not film the rest of that video. So here we are on a different day. The first book that I want to talk about is Journey of Souls by Michael Newton. I know I said I wasn't going to put these books in any order, but if I were to, this would be the number one book that I have read that helped me tremendously after Jake died. I'm just going to read you a little bit of the Audible description. Journey of Souls presents the first-hand accounts of 29 people placed in a superconscious state of awareness using Dr. Michael Newton's groundbreaking techniques. This unique approach allows Dr. Newton to reach his subjects' hidden memories of life in the spirit world after physical death. While in deep hypnosis, the subjects movingly describe what happened to them between lives. They reveal graphic details about what the spirit world is really like, where we go, and what we do as souls, and why we come back in certain bodies. This book is absolutely incredible. These 29 accounts of hypnosis are so similar to each other, and they have no connection with each other, which just in my mind proves that there is an afterlife and that it's the same for everybody. This book really comforted me knowing that Jake was somewhere out there and that we would connect again. The next book that I want to talk about is Destiny of Souls. This book is basically the sequel to Journey of Souls, and it's essentially the same thing. It's just more accounts, and it answers a lot of the questions that Dr. Michael Newton's audience had after they read Journey of Souls. So it's a little bit more in depth in the stories. These two books literally changed my life and my whole perspective on everything. So obviously I had to read like everything to do with Dr. Michael Newton. So the next book that I read is called Memoirs of the Afterlife. These are personal stories of people that have been in hypnosis and been in a superconscious state and what they experienced when they were in that state. I don't exactly know if anyone wrote this book. I think it's just people's stories, and Dr. Michael Newton compiled them and edited them. The next book that changed my life and my perspective on death is called Signs by Laura Lynn Jackson. This is one that I think a lot of people know about. Laura Lynn Jackson is a medium, and in this book she go about telling us, the reader, how we can interpret and communicate signs from our loved ones who have gone to the other side. There are a few stories in this book and accounts of real life people who experienced unexplained synchronicities that couldn't possibly be anything else but their loved one trying to communicate with them from the other side. If you're watching and you are grieving and you wish that your loved one would send you signs, I think that this book is a really, really good one to read to learn how to recognize what signs could possibly look like from the other side. Okay, so obviously after Signs, I became obsessed with Laurel and Jackson also. So, sorry about Leo in the background. So I read her memoir called The Light Between Us. This is a detailed memoir of how Laurel and Jackson got into mediumship, and it's her whole story, and it really highlights, again, just some of the things that the other side are trying to tell us. I also read Your Soul's Plan by Robert Schwartz. This book was also really good. He is also a hypnotherapist like Dr. Michael Newton, and these are a few of his clients' stories of being regressed and what they learned. But mostly this one is less about what the afterlife is like, and this focuses more so on the idea that we make a plan for our soul before incarnating on Earth. And even some of the hard things in life could be things that we planned for our own soul's growth. And it goes into detail about how ultimately our souls just want to grow and learn. A lot of his clients go into the details about how and why we plan certain things and how some things are not planned and how there's still free will in this world. The next book that I want to talk about is called Between Death and Life by Dolores Cannon. This book is essentially Journey of Souls, but written by a different author and hypnotherapist. It was really interesting to see the similarities between Dolores Cannon and Michael Newton's work. And maybe I'm just biased because I read Journey of Souls before I read Between Death and Life. But I did like Journey of Souls a little bit more than Dolores Cannon's work. I know that Dolores Cannon has a very big following and a lot of people love her, and I'm not saying that I don't. I really did enjoy her book too, but I just prefer Michael Newton's book between these two. As an honorable mention, I read Life Between Lives, which is another of Dr. Michael Newton's books, and this goes into more of the technicalities of how he was able to regress these people into this state and more about the teachings of hypnotherapists. And lastly, I want to talk about The In-Between by Hadley Vlahos. I hope I'm saying that correctly. This is a book that a hospice nurse wrote telling some stories of clients that she had when she was a hospice nurse. I think she still is a hospice nurse. She's on TikTok also. But she tells her clients stories and what it was like for her to witness her clients dying, pretty much. And the similarities that there are between all of these different clients' deaths, and how in the end none of them were scared and all of them felt comforted. And I literally just got a sign. It's 111. So with that, thank you guys so much for watching. Please like and subscribe and comment. Let me know if you guys have read of any of these books, or if you want to. Let me know if you have any opinions on these books. I would love to start a conversation in the comments about them because these are some of my favorite books. And until next time, guys, bye!